It can be very rough. I'm so glad my great-great-great-grandparents or whoever it was that came to Puerto Rico decided on Puerto Rico instead of the Dominican Republic or Cuba or someplace else.
Because that opened the door for you to get citizenship much more easily?
You don't get it. You are born.
You are born, right.
An American citizen, yes.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. A lot of folks probably don't think about that because they know it's Spanish-speaking in Puerto Rico. They don't think about it.
That's right.
In that role. That's a very good point.
We are born citizens, and we contribute greatly to the armed forces of the United States.
That's a very good point. Even though, just like Washington, D.C., there's not the representation in the House or the Senate from either Puerto Rico or some of the other islands and in Washington, D.C. Those citizens don't necessarily have the representation.
That's
a strange anomaly, obviously, but one that I'm sure you've thought about many times. The great immigration debate, let us research and participate, a great column at the end of November. And again, if folks ever have issues, they can go online. Just go online and take a look at these. And I'm sure you will probably get emails from folks that are interested in how you perceive
immigration is such a hot topic, and it should be.
Yes.
Immigration, the problem that has grown to what we know today, didn't happen overnight, and it is very complex. And when somebody asks you about immigration and they give you an answer right away, they haven't thought it through. It's a very difficult topic.
What do you think is the most difficult? Of course, this is a community affairs show. It's Thursday morning. It's a couple days after Christmas, but it is an important issue. And, of course, we want to highlight some of the other aspects of your column, some of which are not very controversial, like the one even recently, which was a great recipe you had for a great Christmas dish. But what is it that gets folks, that makes it so controversial? In your opinion?
In my opinion, it's the fact that when you get immigrants, you're getting the low end of the social classes, of the educational levels. So you're not getting people like you. Although we tend to forget that there are pockets of low class and lower educated, low value people in the United States already. But what we see is that, and we eventually get into a prejudiced position, and it's easy to point fingers and say, but they do this and they do that and they do that. But they're people, and the Statue of Liberty doesn't say, "Give me your wealthy, you're intelligent, you're computer scientist." It doesn't say that.
Absolutely.
And of course, if my great-grandparents were to migrate today, they may not be able to. They may not be able to get a visa. We forget that.
So many folks that now make up the melting pot would not have been allowed today to have made what America is today.
Exactly. But I also see the other side of the coin. Don't get me wrong. Remember, I wanted to be in the FBI.
Yes, that's right.
I see that, and I see that a lot. And I agree with Sheriff Thompson, who said who's going to write a federal grant in order to be able to determine whether people in jail, immigrants in jail, are legal or not.
Sheriff Thompson's been
working on this, and when that happens, I support that. I don't want any criminals in my street.
Right.
But I also know so many more decent people who want an education for their children. And I would like to keep those because I think that they enrich our society.
Right.
I went to a 15th birthday party. Saturday night. The customs were just so fascinating. It was almost like a wedding, except that the girl walks by herself with her parents and is introduced to the guests that are there. The father changes flat shoes for the girl that the girl was wearing to heels, and it's symbolic of a young woman coming into adulthood.
The father's doing this for his daughter.
For his daughter.
Wow.
It was really interesting. And those are, somebody whispered behind me. I said, wow, that's such a nice custom.
Yeah, that is.
Our customs aren't that nice. Of course they are, but you just get used to them,
Right.
and you don't see the symbolism as well.
Of course.
Right.
How powerful. And that was native of what country? Do you
They-
remember?
This is a Mexican girl.
Native of Mexico.
Yes.
Native of
Yes.
Mexico.
Yes.
That's fascinating. Is that something? So down in Mexico, as you say, they would take that for granted. It would be old hat.
Right,
See,
right.
here
And
in
you
the
don't
US.
see the symbolism as
Right.
well. You
Right.
don't notice it.
Some of the column titles, of course, there was a great one you had on a racial ethnic myth. We've got about 5 minutes. Men, migration or immigration, obviously. I Miss You, Tio Pepe.
Oh, yeah.
Which it was a great piece. Folks need to go back and see that.
That was highlighting my friends in Harrisburg, and how I guess our Hispanicity, I don't know how to say it,
Hispanicity, yeah.
but the fact that our ethnicity has brought us together and kept us as friends, even though we are so far away.
Right. Great point.
People from all over California and Harrisburg, of course,
Sure.
where the person was from, came to Tio Pepe to celebrate the 80th birthday of one of our friends.
Wow,
was
man.
fun.
You know, we think about, I don't know if I've ever asked that question, your hubby, is he a big Spanish speaker, Raymond?
Absolutely not.
He has obviously lived and loved and enjoyed his long-time marriage to you, even though he speaks a teensy bit of Spanish.
Very little,
yeah,
very little, but he loves our culture,
Yes.
and he'd prefer to go to Mexico on vacation than anywhere else in the world.
Is that right?
Yes,
Wow.
and he tells me he likes women hot. And what was it? Dark
You better get this
and
right.
hot.
Yeah,
Yes.
dark and hot. You better get this right.
like
on
his
camera.
coffee.
Yeah, just like his coffee. That is great. Well, he got one, and of course,
So he likes feistiness, and I think he even likes the fact that when we have a party at home, that we're a little loud. He likes that.
Yeah, good for him. I love it. He
enjoys it.
He's melded very well.
Yes.
He has melded very well. As you go forward and see the column continue to expand, of course, it's important that we highlight Susanna Gabi Russell, and at times, as you know, in the translation, I mean, when we're editing the folks who are editing the Herald on Wednesdays, preparing for it to come out on Thursdays, are principally only able to edit your portion. So sometimes there may be, if there ever, not that anyone would ever edit your stuff, but if there are ever any changes, it's difficult to go change Susanna. Susanna is at the whims, unfortunately, of what she sends in. So we're very dependent on, and that's why we're so thankful that there's literally never any editing on yours, because it makes the translation that much smoother for Susanna.
Her translations are really excellent. I am just so proud of her. And she says she does it a little bit for me because our friendship is so deep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Carolina Language Corporation is she and her husband's her and her husband's company there, and
now she's at Coastal Carolina University with which is probably something our listeners would like to know.
Yeah,
is in their adult education.
Right.
Doing wonderful things with Spanish language.
Is that right?
Many
Out of Coastal
courses
Carolina?
and trips and all kinds of things.
Son of a gun, I don't think I knew that. Now, Language Links is a piece you've had around for a number of years, man. And is Language Links still going strong, or is it principally just as you've gone into obviously working for Horry County Police, you've had to give up a little bit of that?
I have. Whenever people still call me, I usually just give it to someone else.
Right.
So it's really developing, but with some other of my friends, because the need is there.
Of course, yes.
Right.
There's a much larger Hispanic-based population, let's say in Horry County, than folks imagine, or is it?
Yeah, it's always larger than what the U.S. Census say. Yeah. And it is large.
And it is, as you think about potential column topics over the next 6 months or year, is it really that they're coming to you on a weekly basis? To think now, it's been right at 4 years, man. It's amazing to think about. Do these come up on a weekly basis, or do you plan far in advance?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm not a planner.
yeah.
And that goes with my being a Hispanic. I am not a planner, so they come on a weekly basis with everything that I do. Talk to people, and something comes up that lights a fire, and I say, hey.
Right. Do you all? I think I may have asked this earlier. Do you all get down to Puerto Rico at all, or
not since I went to my aunt's 90th birthday, so that was before last Christmas. So it's been over a year.
Right. You mentioned Raymond's desire and love of going on vacations to Mexico. Do you all get to travel much now?
No, not as much as we would like to. The job really keeps us from doing a whole lot of that, and because we're really, let's face it, getting old.
Oh no, don't say it, man. Yeah.
Too much time to go to the doctors and the MUSC and this, that, and don't have time left for vacations. As much as I like to.
What has been the best part for you of having done a column now the last 4 years in the Herald? And I know you do another one, I believe, somewhere else, or I read about a piece you've been doing. What's been the best part for you?
The research and learning myself. Right. You know, don't think that because I'm Puerto Rican I know everything Hispanic. I mean, South America is a big country.
Right.
Spain, our mother country, has many humongous number of sayings, of customs and things that I've yet to learn. And finding out that when something is said or is done in my neck of the woods in Puerto Rico, that it really had its origin in Spain. And that's been the fun thing.
The research component and making sure folks understand the basics of being more accepting of other cultures.
Yes, yes. Hopefully, I'm hoping the other occurs too with a translation, that the Hispanic people, that population, is learning about what we think of them. And, you know, not everything I say is positive. There are some negative things that I bring out there, and hopefully they'll help them assimilate better.
Absolutely. Men, thank you so much for coming in this morning. I'm sorry we've run out of time.
You're welcome.
Hope you had a great Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned with more Min Alexander, columnist of the Myrtle Beach Herald, coming up next. I can't even imagine what some of the upcoming topics are going to be in Solo in America. It's getting better, kind of like a great bottle of wine, getting better every week, getting better every year. Min's been doing it now right at 4 years, to think of that. Some of these great titles, you can go online. The Invisible Hand of Justice, Equal Access to All. Of course, the opportunity that South isn't South enough. Viva Valencia, some great columns that Min's been penning. You can go back as far as you like, but go online, myrtlebeachherald.com, or, of course, pick up a copy of today's paper. You'll see a new column out, or, of course, you can always go to area boxes and pick up a copy of the week's paper. Take a look online. Solo in America, she's making a difference. But scroll on down to the bottom and take the time to maybe even get a scintilla of involvement in Susanna Gabi Russell's translation there. It's a special treat to really get interested in the language and see the impact that someone's making a difference every day in trying to reach out to both cultures on a daily basis. Min Alexander, making a difference.